Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics, and welcome to Taylor's Detroit Sports Show, February 16th now at midnight. I like to, it is a new day, like the old folks always say, when the clock strikes midnight. This is the Pistons edition anyway. I'm Taylor Phillips, your host. You can find me on Facebook as my name, also on YouTube, Google, Pinterest, and StumbleUpon. My Facebook fan page is Taylor Phillips's Detroit Sports Page, and my group is Taylor Phillips's Detroit Sports Group. If you have any opinions or want to join in on the conversation, you can call in at 646-478-4837. That number again is 646-478-4837. Guidelines: if you have called in and hung up by mistake, just read out the number 646-478-4837. and then stay on the line. Number 2, keep it very clean. Number 3, no hate speech. Number 4, if you don't know much about this, you can still listen. And number 5, only I can change the topic, because I'm the host of the show. This time I'm going to start off with breaking news from last Sunday late morning, and it appeared that the Pistons have officially reportedly fired their once head coach Maurice Cheeks 50 games into the regular season. And on the same night, about 12 hours ago, or only a few hours ago, I should say, they named their assistant coach, John Loyer, as their interim head coach. And my take on all that, it was only a matter of time. If some were saying too late, better late than never. I think it was early enough. I think Mo Cheeks did his part in trying to keep the Pistons in playoff contention. Or at least still in the hunt. Pistons are still in the hunt, in fact. Yet they remain a half game behind the Bobcats. And those two teams have a very important home-and-home set coming up Tuesday and Wednesday. First game is at the Palace, 7:30 on Fox Sports Detroit. And then the other game is on the following day, 7 o'clock, same channel, both on 97.1 The Ticket in the Detroit area. But back to the coaching situation. John Loyer is a very energetic head coach, more energetic than Maurice Cheeks was this season. He also shows a lot more, at least somewhat more intelligence to the team, and right before the Pistons, and that firing of Cheeks, in fact, was occurred before the Pistons won their third game in a row, all of them at the Palace, before losing to the Cavaliers. Same with the Loyer hiring. I've been getting other people's feedback on Piston pages and stuff on social media that they don't even care. I can tell that they don't even care. They say he's just an interim head coach. He'll be let go after the season. Wrong. Just because John Loyer is an interim head coach does not mean that he will be let go after the season. You know why? He's very good. Right now, the only flaw the team still has yet to work on is their fourth quarter woes, which have been happening again as of late, the last two times since John Loyer became head coach. They've been rolling the first three quarters of each game, win or lose. Lawyer's 1-1. We were gonna get to the week in review 7+ minutes in. The Pistons were dominating the Spurs, but they barely had to hold on. They had to barely hold on and win 109-100. Scored only 17 points in the fourth quarter. First win in Loyer's debut. I thought the Spurs were a little inconsistent compared to the Pistons tonight, except for the fourth quarter when most of it, or at least some, was turned right around. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was coming on a little bit, scoring 9 points, getting off the schneid there. Against the black and silver. And the Pistons only turned the ball over 11 times, which was an improvement made by John Loyer. Pistons led by as many as 23. They were outscored 54-52 in the paint, but they outscored them 19-13. They out-rebounded them 42-38 totally and 18-8 offensively. Brandon Jennings led the men in blue and red with 21 points, blackjack. adding six assists right there. Then we move on to Wednesday against the Cavaliers, who came back with a strong finish to win 93-89. Kyrie Irving led Cleveland with 23 points. Including a dagger 3, which sealed the Cavaliers' comeback. The Cavaliers are only a little bit worse than the Pistons right now in terms of the standings. 20-33, fourth place in the Central Division, just 2.5 games behind Detroit. His Kyrie Irving's three-pointer came with drained down with 27.2 seconds left to give his maroon and gold squad a 4-point advantage, and that was it. Andre Drummond got another double-double, 16 points and 17 rebounds. There's your 39th double-double. And we're going to get to Andre Drummond in just a minute here. Pistons turned the ball over 16 times. I'll bet most of them which came in the fourth quarter, which is still a mess for them. Like I said, they've got to start working on the fourth quarter. Demons, or whatever they are. They just have to play better in that fourth quarter. So the Pistons in third place at 22-30. Again, like I mentioned, a half game behind the Bobcats, 23-30. Bobcats still in 8th place. Pistons in 9th. Pistons are the only team in the Eastern Conference and the only team in the league to have exactly 22 points. And also, like I mentioned before, the home and home set with the Charlotte Bobcats. Tuesday at the Palace at 7:30, and then Wednesday in Charlotte at 7. And then Friday, they return home for another short 2-game homestand. Both games at 7:30. First one's against the Hawks of Atlanta. 5th place in the Eastern Conference. Second place in the Southeast, 25-26. Josh Smith's former team flocks into the Palace. They got Elton Brand former LA Clipper Jared Cunningham, Kyle Korver, who used to play for the Utah Jazz, Paul Millsap, Jeff Teague, Cartier Martin, Lewis Williams, DeMar Carroll, Pero Antic, Gustavo Ion, Al Horford, John Jenkins. Just like at least a few of the Hawks players to watch. George and Greg will give you the keys to the game on that one. Then there's those Dallas Mavericks. 6th place in the West, 3rd in the Southwest Division, 32-22. That's a good record. By the way, the Hawks have lost their last 5, but the Mavericks are coming off a win right now. Not only do they have Dirk Nowitzki, but they have Sean Marion, Samuel Dalembert, Jose Calderon, the former Piston, Vince Carter, a veteran, Bernard James, Devin Harris, DeJuan Blair, going to be an all-star tomorrow night. Monta Ellis is another player to watch on the Mavericks team. Wayne Ellington, Shane Larkin, at least a few of those players have depth. So let's get Andre Drummond. Last night he became a definite lock to begin with to become the MVP in the Rising Stars Challenge, which was official last night with 30 points and a record-setting 25 rebounds, as Team Grant Hill defeated Team Webb 142-136 in that game on Valentine's Day. Just Drummond brought it like he was no statistic. He wasn't just a statistic. He's a star. He is a rising star. He's the rising star of today. That's why the Pistons need him. So my bonus question is, should Andre Drummond become an all-star next year? You can call in at 646-478-4837. Got 10.5 minutes left in the show. You can also a reminder, you can chat on Blog Talk Radio on my show if you're available. Let's go to college basketball scores. Eastern Michigan pounded Toledo 65-44. Western Michigan beat Miami, Ohio 68-57, and Kent State beat Central Michigan 83-75. Upcoming games tomorrow: Wisconsin at Michigan at 1 on CBS, and then Nebraska at Michigan State at 3 on BTN. the Big Ten Network. Other Detroit sports updates. Very devastating for all Red Wing fans to hear. Their left winger, Henrik Zetterberg, is now ruled out for the rest of the Olympic men's ice hockey tournament and could possibly miss the rest of the NHL season with a herniated disc. Ouch. Like triple ouch, man. Worst injury this season, let me tell you. This clearly shows why the Red Wings are always reckless on the ice physically. They got to be more careful. Seems as if their general manager Ken Holland just keeps signing at least one or two fresh people on the team, and they get injured too. I mean, what is behind all this? Or is just nothing helping the cause whatsoever? Griffins get blanked by the San Antonio Rampage 3-0 at Van Andel Arena tonight. Speaking of the Olympics, Team USA Hockey blasted Slovakia 7-1 Thursday morning and edging Russia this morning 3-2 in a 1-0 8-round shootout. And finally, last Thursday, Tigers pitchers and catchers reported, including Victor Martinez, who could catch at least some games. Oh yeah, that's true. Also got an article that former Tiger starting pitcher Kenny Rogers will be a pitching instructor, a special pitching instructor. Trying to get that article here. Looking forward to yeah, there it is. Kenny Rogers to camp has been invited to camp by Brad Ausmus and the club as a special instructor. For the Tigers, he'll probably be a special instructor for the entire pitching staff, including the starting rotation and maybe the relief. And I was thinking, I think Kenny Rogers will help out in helping Phil Koch with his flaws and whatnot, his pitching woes. Tigers' coaching staff is really enhanced this offseason. Same for the Detroit Lions offseason. Detroit Lions' new coaching staff. They changed their entire coaching staff, and I think they look good. They all look good too. Pistons got an interim head coach who's much more energetic than the one they recently fired, which means the Red Wings in the coaching situation are left out. They still have Mike Babcock. I still think he's a great coach, but just sometimes he forgets to call timeouts and stuff like that. He just sometimes has a disagreement with some of his players, including Pat Aldatsuk, for example. They both had one there before the Winter Classic when they choked in the shootout against the Maple Leafs. But anyway, that's going to do it for this Pistons edition of Taylor's Detroit Sports Show. Speaking of the Red Wings, there will be no Red Wings edition until March 1st at 11 p.m. And of course, that is on a Saturday. But for next week, there will be another Pistons edition, which is next Saturday at midnight. So until then, it's Taylor Phillips signing off. TTFN, ta-ta for now.